Going YouTube, Tim Jacobs here, bringing us a quick discussion video on the release of patch 6.2.3, which had just gone live on November 17th, 2015. Now with the release of patch 6.2.3, we are finally given the ability to go ahead and do some cross-realm mythic raiding, which is definitely something that has been asked for by the PvE community for quite some time now, so definitely a well-welcomed introduction to the game, guys, for certain, because, you have a friend maybe who's on a different server, or a guild that you would like to, do some progression with on a different server, but you weren't able to do that for mythic tier raiding, but now you finally can, so definitely well welcomed there for certain, guys. But in this video, I would actually like to focus on the introduction, or shall I say reintroduction, of the currency of Valor. So as you guys may or may not recall, Valor was a currency that was used to upgrade your some of your items that you'd gotten from, say, raids or dungeons by a few item level with Valor. So here you guys can see that Valor is finally put back in the game. It is something that, in Mists of Pandaria, Valor, I would say, was more of an annoyance, right? You had to get your weekly Valor cap, and you really needed to continue to do that if you want to stay, competitive in the PvE scene. So a few people were kind of taken back when they saw that Valor was reintroduced to the game, but I would like to just, note that the few months in between the announcement of the pre-purchase of a new expansion and the introduction of that expansion, there's often a lull in the game, right? In that there's not much to do in that time frame. A lot of people, are kind of step back from the game or kind of take a break from the game because there really isn't much to do. But now with the reintroduction of Valor, you actually have a reason to go ahead and do some of those, raid finder raids, for example, or going out and doing dungeons. For me, I think it's well welcomed, right? It gives us a reason to go ahead and do dungeons. It makes it so that we can go ahead and gear some of those, alts or something of that nature. And something that's definitely worth mentioning, guys, is, in a previous video I had said that Tanaan Jungle probably is the most efficient and time efficient manner of going ahead and gearing your fresh level 100 boosted tune that you had gotten from the pre-purchase of World of Warcraft Legion. Now, I'm gonna probably say that that's changed, right? With the introduction of Valor and the time walking dungeons, you can actually pick up 660 item level gear. So 660 item level gear, guys, definitely, pretty easy to get, right? The bosses have a decently high drop chance to go ahead and drop it. And then at the same in the same token, you're also gaining Valor. So Valor, guys, can be used to actually purchase 675 item level gear. So really, guys, in one day, you can take a tune who's a fresh level 100 boost with the 640 item level items, and you can pick up some 675 items rather quickly. Now, it's worth keeping in mind and worth noting that the items that you get from this time-walking vendor within Orgrimmar or Stormwind, you only get a finite number of items, so things like the wrists, the chest, as well as the belt, and some off-pieces like trinkets and rings are the items that you'll be getting from the vendor. So you're not going to actually be getting all of your item level items to 675, only a few. But it's definitely really great for, a fresh level 100 tune, in that in Raid Finder right now, the items themselves are only 675. So it will actually make it so that you can hop straight into Raid Finder, right? And you can go ahead and start progressing through some of these bosses here. Get yourself accustomed, get yourself, introduced to some of the bosses if you haven't done so yet, right? Maybe you're going to start gearing for the new expansion. So you can go ahead and hop into Raid Finder with this, 675 item level gear. And you can go ahead and start progressing through some of this. Now, once you go ahead and get some of the Raid Finder gear, guys, then you can go ahead and start doing normal, in which you can get some of your tier gear, as well as other items that are 675, or I'm sorry, 700, as well as some items that are down at 690. So definitely, a really, really efficient way to gear, guys, just going ahead and doing some dungeons. And it's also worth noting that something exciting here, there is a chance for a mount to drop from these time-walking dungeons. This mount, guys, definitely looks really, really cool. It was inspired by Morazond, who is the final boss in End Time, if you guys didn't already know that. And it's within the time-walking Cataclysm raids, which are only going to be out for a little bit longer. But typically what Blizzard has been doing is introducing these time-walking dungeons on the weekends. So you can go ahead, guys, and take your alts or your fresh level 100 tunes and start gearing them, on the weekends by doing these time-walking dungeons. But while the Cataclysm dungeons are still out, guys, definitely hop out there and try to get your mount. I'm personally grinding for it. I've tried all weekend, haven't got any luck yet, but hopefully, I'll get lucky sometime soon. Fingers crossed. Now, at the end of this video, guys, I want to go ahead and say the anniversary for WoW is up and it is upon us. And as always, we get some nice little gifts for that. So I haven't seen them yet. I just got the present. I haven't opened them yet, but I have seen some people running around with this, and I'm very excited about it. The inflatable Thunder Fury, like that is awesome, guys. So you can add this to your tune, get a little achievement there, and boom, you have Thunder Fury on. Let's see if I can get two. No, just one. But hey, it's still really cool. So if you always wanted to get Thunder Fury, but you never had the, tenacity to go ahead and pick up all the pieces for it or something like this, you can go ahead and get it. Now, I can imagine this might get some people upset who had actually grinded out all of the pieces necessary for Thunder Fury. But that being said, I'm excited about it because I do not have Thunder Fury in this account, and so definitely pumped about having that. We also have a costume here. Okay, let's see what this is. Interesting. Okay. So I'm a human on Horde. Very cool. Alright, what else we have in here? Anything interesting? Increases experience and reputation gains. Alright, that's pretty cool. And a wand that'll turn somebody into a Murloc. Alright. And somebody else into a Gnoll. So, pretty cool. I always like when Blizzard, start introducing those celebratory things. So, definitely cool stuff there, guys. And in the last few minutes of this video, guys, I would also like to, do a little discussion of questions that I had gotten in my last YouTube video, as is, customary of, this new YouTube channel here. So in the last video, guys, Mr. Cooch had asked, would you mind if you did another video? Essentially he's asking, what do you do after you get the gear, right? So in this YouTube video, as well as the last YouTube video, I had, a quick discussion on quick ways to gear in the current standing of Warcraft. So his question is essentially, what do you do after you gear, right? So I often find that with World of Warcraft, guys, the way to keep yourself interested in the game is to have things to do, right? You need to have goals, you need to have things that you're constantly pursuing, right? You're progressing through, say, raids, you're progressing through an achievement. I've often found that when I have not enjoyed the game, it's when I didn't have something to do, for example, or when a lot of my friends were taking a break from the game or something like this, right? That's often when I have found that I had gotten bored of the game. And it's pretty customary to go ahead and kind of have a falling out with WoW during the time when, say, the pre-purchase of an expansion is out, and those few months that it takes before the new expansion is actually released. Oftentimes there is a lull in the game there, and a lot of people will step away from the community for a little bit. But I honestly think that with the reintroduction of Valor, you can go ahead and start gearing some alts, for example, or, go ahead and use that new fresh level 100 character boost that you got with the pre-purchase of Legion, and say gear that class that you always wanted to play. Maybe you wanted to start healing in the new expansion. Maybe you wanted to try a caster DPS or a melee DPS. Maybe you want to start tanking. Maybe you thought that monks always look cool, but you never had the tenacity to go ahead and actually level 1 from, level 1 to 100. There's definitely a few things that you can do in the game now, guys. So once you go ahead and, get that level 100, you get your gear, say from doing dungeons or progression through the jungle. What I would suggest, guys, is, what do you want to do? Do you want to go ahead and start participating in a new season of PvP that just had recently come out? Do you want to start progressing through dungeons and raids, for example? If you wanted to go on the PvE track, what I would suggest is, if you're new to Draenor, I would suggest, progressing through the Raid Finder raids, and then once you get your item level up, say around like 685, 690, start looking for groups within LFG. So if you guys go ahead and pull up your Dungeons and Raids interface, for you guys who are newer to the game or newer, to this expansion, maybe you took some time off for the game, there's something introduced called pre-made groups here. You can go ahead and click that. You can actually find other players here. Maybe you're looking for some questing, dungeons, raids, old school raids, for example. You can go ahead and click on these guys, hit find group, and then you can find other people who are doing things, right? People are looking for mounts, people are doing, guild progression. So definitely a fun way to go ahead and meet up with other players in the game, and it's really, really pretty efficient, right? As long as you have the item level, you usually will get invited to the group, right? So somebody here is, Harrison Jones is at his garrison. Somebody is doing, Black Temple or something. There's definitely so many things that you can do, guys. And with this introduction of the pre-made groups, some people may not have seen this yet. It's definitely a good way to go ahead and meet other members of the community. So that's what I would suggest doing, guys. If you're looking for something to do after you actually gear up, just go ahead and start progressing through some of the raids that you haven't done yet, or start doing some PvE. towards like the dungeons, start pursuing maybe some achievements, for example, or hop into the PvP season if you're a PvEer, or vice versa. If you're a PvPer, go ahead and start trying out some PvE. There's definitely a lot of things to do in the game, guys, and maybe I can make a separate video on, what exactly those things may be or what they may actually look like. But this is a brand new YouTube channel, so I probably will be keeping it to about one video a week, maybe making one every Sunday, for example, or something like this. But definitely leave a comment down there in the comment section, guys, and let me know what videos you guys would like to see. Like I said, it's a brand new YouTube video. Or, I'm sorry, brand new YouTube channel. So I am pretty new at this, and I would really appreciate all the feedback and help that you guys are willing to offer. So, as always, guys, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, be sure to hit the video with a like, leave a comment if you guys enjoyed it, as well as any comments on something you maybe would like to see in the future. So, thanks for stopping by, guys. Have a good time, and Warcraft on.